All right. So, good morning or good afternoon to all my students. I am about to hit my present screen and walk you through our newest and for some of us, our first unit, What's Behind Your Mask. So, remember, while all of this is loading, let's go ahead and get our refreshment or our snack, make ourselves comfortable. Obviously, the first thing on our screen is one of those throwaway masks, right? The literal mask. Here's some essential questions. Now, for my returning students, my loopers, we know how Stillwell's units go. For my brand new students, I always ask some questions, and you don't have to answer them. They are just for us to think. Number one, how does a mask help others? And how does a mask help ourselves? We're just thinking. We're not writing, just thinking. Number two, does covering one's face offer protection? Huh. Number three, do you feel safe and secure behind your mask? Does one feel untouchable behind the mask? See what I did there? Now you're thinking about superheroes and villains. Before, you might have been thinking about COVID, first responders. Maybe you're a step ahead and you're already thinking about that metaphor mask. Black Panther. And number five, does your mask represent the best or the worst of you? Superhero and villain. So here are the goals. Here is what we will accomplish during this mini unit. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to watch and read poetry from a gentleman named Paul Laurence Dunbar and a woman named Maya Angelou. We are going to create and turn in a chart of examples from those poets, and that'll be found under the label Assignment 1. And the last thing for this mini unit is we're going to write a narrative using personal examples, and we can reference those two authors, those two poets, Dunbar and Angelou, as needed. And this will be turned in and labeled Assignment 2. So what's behind your mask? Here are the materials you will need. How are we going to take notes? Are you old school like me and you like paper and pencil? Or do you like to take your notes in a Google Doc? So let's go ahead, and I want you to take under a minute, and we're going to gather those materials. Push pause on my video if you need to. We are going to be taking minimal notes. Don't write anything just yet. Here are the skills to review. These skills, we all should have mastered these skills. These are elementary skills. The first one is symbolism, and then we have metaphor, and we have simile. So now you can write this down. The first one is symbolism. As we take notes, you can pause my video, you can pause my voice at any time. Symbolism. A few things to maybe jumpstart your brain. We have a logo, MBA, right? A heart, maybe that symbolizes love. Maybe it symbolizes lust. And then we have the American bald eagle. If you haven't already written your definition for symbolism, feel free to use mine. Remember, pause my video or go back at any time. Symbolism, using symbols or images to represent a deeper meaning. The second one is metaphor. We should know metaphor. And lastly, for this mini unit, simile. Our directions. We're going to watch Angelou's poetry mashup on YouTube. It's under 5 minutes. It's Maya Angelou speaking, and it's just a YouTube video. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to read and listen to Dunbar's poem, We Wear the Mask. Then we're going to read and listen to a Maya Angelou poem, When I Think About Myself. And then we're going to rewatch that less than 5 minute video on YouTube. This is the time that you will hit pause on my presentation, and we will return after you have watched the Maya Angelou mashup poetry. All right, welcome back. So I went ahead and copy and pasted Paul Laurence Dunbar's poem into this slideshow. I am going to read it. It is up to you also if you would like to hear me read it, or you can push pause and you can annotate on your own. Here we go. We Wear the Mask by Paul Laurence Dunbar. We wear the mask that grins and lies. It hides our cheeks and shades our eyes. This debt we pay to human guile. With torn and bleeding hearts we smile, and mouth with myriad subtleties. Why should the world be overwise in counting all our tears and sighs? Nay, let them only see us while we wear the mask. We smile, but, O great Christ, our cries to thee from tortured souls arise. We sing, but oh, the clay is vile beneath our feet and long the mile. But let the world dream otherwise. We wear the mask. So that's Paul Laurence Dunbar's. And then there's Maya Angelou, When I Think About Myself. When I think about myself, I almost laugh myself to death. My life has been one great big joke, a dance that's walked, a song that's spoke. I laugh so hard I almost choke when I think about myself. 60 years in these folks' world, the child I works for calls me girl. I say, yes, ma'am, for working's sake. Too proud to bend, too poor to break. I laugh until my stomach ache when I think about myself. My folks can make me split my side. I laughed so hard I nearly died. The tales they tell sound just like lying. They grow the fruit, but eat the rind. I laugh until I start to crying when I think about my folks. So this is another pause moment. Now that we have read the 2 poems Angela referenced in the YouTube video, I want us to go back and I want us to watch it a second time for clarity. Yes, watch it a second time for clarity. And when you're ready, continue on with my presentation. Here is a breakdown of assignment 1. Now that we have watched the YouTube the first time, we've read the 2 poems. Heck, we could have even read the 2 poems a second time because that's what excellent readers and writers do. And we watched the Angelou YouTube a second time as well. Here is what will be called assignment 1. So on your own paper, or you can use the Google Doc, I want you to create a table, and we're going to outline the metaphors, similes, and possible symbols for these two poets. And you can see my little example down there too. So this one is for a grade. I want you to complete the chart. You will share your Google Doc with me, or you can take a picture of your written notes, like the written chart that you drew, and you can upload that picture and send it to me in an email. Both of those are ways to turn in. And then there's kind of a bigger chart. Simile, metaphor, what might his or her mask symbolize? And we have our two poets on the left. And you can see we're just rewriting the lines. This is a good pause moment to work on this chart. So because I am assigning this chart today, Tuesday, September 8th, it can be due today, but I would like it to be turned in no later than Thursday. We have a couple class time. For my students who would like to pause here and work on that chart, you may. For other students, maybe you want to see my whole presentation. So I'm going to continue on. Here is our assignment 2. And this is the prompt that we will be responding to. Both Dunbar and Angelou present their own unique metaphors and use symbolism for the mask to explain other hardships. What might your mask represent? What might you be hiding? Or is there something you want to hide? What is something you are hesitant to reveal to others? Or, flip it, is your symbolic mask stifling your true self and you're ready to break free? Be able to reference Dunbar and Angelou for added support. This may seem like a lot at first, but I'm going to break it down in another presentation. I also love graphic organizers, and I will go over this. So this assignment, I'm assigning it today, September 8th. It is not going to be due until the 11th, meaning you don't even have to work on it Tuesday or Wednesday, unless you really want to. And it will not be dead until a week. So we have a week. So during, Monday the 14th? Monday, September 14th for our asynchronous time. This is a good time to work on this paper too. At this time, I'm going to stop this presentation. Go back and listen as needed. Go back and rewatch as needed. Make sure to pause and ask questions in our chat. Thank you guys so much.